Yo, what's up? It's Rick's here. It's Rick's Subaru. It's early morning. We're gonna try to get some stuff done today. Uh, we got the electronic boost controller solenoid from Cobb sitting right here, so we're gonna go over what's in the box. First things first, make sure that you got a tune ready for whenever you get this on, or it could result in overboost. The other thing that you need to have is all the tools. I got a parts list from Cobb, and I got those sitting right in front of me, and a few extra tools that I think I might need. So without further ado, I'm going to show you guys the tools that they require you to have for this. So what we have here, they recommend flathead screwdriver. They recommend pliers. I couldn't find my pliers, so these will have to do for now. They're kind of small, and from videos that I've seen, you really need to get into a tight space to get some clamps off, so I think these will work. The other thing is scissors. Then they have a 10mm socket, a 10mm deep socket, and then a 12mm socket. Actually couldn't find my small 12mm socket, so we're going to use the deep one and hope to God it works. And then a ratchet. I'm using a small ratchet because from videos I've seen, there's tight spaces. And then I got this little extension just in case. Got my little tiny dikes just for cutting zip ties, because this makes it a lot easier instead of trying to get these big bulky scissors in there. Other thing I got, my tuner. I actually have a tune waiting to go, so there's that. So here's the box. It's probably reversed, but this does not say Bach, or I don't know. Anyway, so what's in the box? Already took out the stickers. Already took out the little information pamphlet and stuff that kind of tells you what you know, how to go get the instructions and all that stuff. I already pulled up the instructions, so I think I got everything pretty much figured out. Basically taking off a bracket, installing the bracket, installing this bracket on top of it. But anyway, they got the hose. Now you're gonna have to cut this quite a few times. Got the solenoid itself. It has the label 1, 3, and 2. 1 being the one that's going to your turbo inlet, 2 being the one that's going to your wastegate, and then 3 that's going to your compressor. Obviously got your electrical fitting. And you got quite a few zip ties here, some nuts, bolts, washers, lock washers. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the car, start working on it. What you'll notice whenever we first walk up to the car is the hood scoop's not on it. And hood scoop's not on it because we just sticker bonded it, and it's being poly coated right now. So anyway, we'll go. Alright, so here we are at the car, and I just kind of want to show you guys this. I know the sun is bright, but if you check that out, that's a lid to a storage container, because I didn't want water getting in on my hood, but it's whatever. So I'm going to go ahead and pop the hood, and then we're going to get into it. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to get the bracket off. Let me show you. Bracket is right here. So we're going to take this ground wire off here. Looks like there's a bolt here. So we're going to go ahead and take that off. Looks like this is going to be a 10mm. I'm going to go ahead and pull the electrical off. Something that they mention in the directions, and something you should probably think about, is make sure your engine's not hot, because you're going to be working all around the turbo. I would recommend not using power tools for any of this stuff. Just use hand tools. Remember, whenever you take off a bolt, put it somewhere where you're not going to lose it. I'm going to put mine on the top of my strut there. And this is a pretty stiff right here. but looks like they're both 10 millimeter. I made a good choice by using the small ratchet. Something to think about. Also, make sure you're not wearing any loose clothing or rings, jewelry, necklaces, or anything that's going to get in the way. And don't forget to connect this ground wire. I've seen one of my homies do it. Subaru dude. You forgot the wire, my guy. We're not going to forget it. If we do, I'm blaming you. Next thing, looks like there's another bolt on the bottom here. And I think just for the sake of making everything alright, our vehicle's going around, we're going to go ahead and take off this third bolt too. A little tough to get in there to it. It's in the very bottom there. I don't think you necessarily have to take it off. It's just going to make things a little bit easier. And it's literally just one more bolt anyway. But my whole idea is to get this whole freaking bracket off. That way I can just do what I need to with it. It seems like I would be able to take it off my hand, but it's just not there yet. A couple things that we have in the works. My turbo inlet, which I'm super excited about coming. Like so many videos on it. Turbo inlet is coming soon. I'm gonna pair in turbo inlet. I just dropped my ratchet in the engine bay. But from all the videos and stuff that I've seen of turbo inlets, it's not gonna be great. Get my ratchet, put it back up here. Alright, so we're good. Everything's off here. There's the boost control solenoid, if you can see it right here. It's got two hoses coming off of it. One of these hoses goes to a T. It's connected to the wastegate here. You can't see it. I'll show it to you in a minute though. And the other one's connected to the compressor housing. And then this one right here, this one here, let's see if I can get it in there. This one right here is connected to the turbo inlet. Yeah, turbo inlet right here. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to get off the solenoid. Just be careful with everything in here. Everything's kind of flimsy. I know I'm just kind of like throwing crap around, but and there she is. Little solenoid we're getting off. You can see it there. My multicolored hoses, because I'm cool like that. Yeah, so I need to see exactly how the new one is going to go in here. We'll get it over here in a minute. Just be careful with this here. You don't want anything getting in there, getting all nasty and stuff, so kind of tuck it up out of your way. These hoses on mine, I don't know if you can tell. I don't know if you can see that, but they're really not like, let me see it right. Try to get in there, but it doesn't have a clamp on it. And most of the videos that I've seen, everybody's had a clamp on it. Ours does not. Also, be careful. My hood prop is right by my head. I could easily knock it down. It would not be a good day. Alright, so let's look at this. Let me go ahead and see here. So 1, turbo inlet. 2, wastegate. 3, compressor housing. So I would think we would want to mount it something like this. So let's pull up our bracket here. Alright, so I don't know if you can see this. So I'm holding my bracket kind of sideways, and these bolt holes magically line up. Get a hole here, get a hole here. And I'm going to be quite frank with you. I'm going to hold it up there just so I can see what that looks like. That looks kind of beautiful. So what I did was I'm going to aim the ports where everything would hook up, little nipples. I got nipples, Greg. I'm going to aim the nipples downward. That way they're kind of going and flowing with the car. There's a little piece of a zip tie here. Leave it there for moral support. Somebody pointed out that the tube actually says Cobb on it, which is pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and prepare my nuts. That was good. Oh, I want to point this out. I did make a mistake. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm going to take them both off because I'm an idiot. That's why. Lock washer goes on the nut side. I wasn't going to put that in there, but I figured you need to know that. So I'm going to do that right quick. Change them around. If you make a mistake, fix it. Don't just keep going with it. So it'll go bolt, flat washer, bracket, lock nut, nut. And it's on. Okay, so the other thing I want to see is I want to see how this thing's going to sit. So you can see it here. That thing is pretty close to the hitting the. Yeah, I think it'll be all right though. So we're gonna go in there just like that. I don't like the fact that the bolts stick out of this side over here. You can see them sticking out here. I don't like the way it looks, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't care. As long as it's functional. I'm gonna go ahead and plug. I'm gonna plug them in because I don't want anything to get down inside those fittings, and I want to kind of know where everything is going to sit at. Interesting. Alright, so I'm going to leave two little hoses that come out of it. There's one in here. There's one in here. Why this one's red, I have no clue. I'm going to leave them in there for now because I don't know if I need them. Solenoid done. Our new solenoid, what we need to do, we need to measure for the hoses. Alright, first hose we're going to do is going to be number 1, which is our inlet hose. What I'm going to do is try to find the best place to route that. I want to keep in mind that this is actually the number 1. I don't know if you can see it. It's back here on the back side, so it's going to be the closest to your fender. So that's number 1. So I kind of want to hold this into place. I don't want to tie it into place yet. I may even put a nut in here just to get it close. I'm not going to tighten it down all the way. Now, something that I did notice is you probably want to go ahead and get your zip ties ready, because these are going to be a pain later. So what I'm going to do going to go ahead and snug it up just fairly close, just to where it won't slip, where it won't go anywhere. Make sure you leave this long, that way you can pull it tight later. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and measure my hose. Cut this hose. May seem like more work putting it back up here, but I need to see exactly how much hose that I need. So here we go. The other hose was ran. Let's go. So the other hose is ran right here. It comes up underneath here. And I'm trying to block the sun. I'm gonna knock this stand out probably. And it goes through here, and it's right here. So we're gonna go ahead and pop that off. Well, that's not good. There's a much different size. I'm gonna just fish my hose through here. There is no freaking way that this hose is gonna go over that inlet. It might, I don't know. I'm gonna put it back in there. There's a little bracket right here. I'm gonna put it back in that bracket. I want everything to be not loose, but like not tight either. Yeah, there's no way it's gonna go back on there. It's a much different size. That sucks. I'm going to scooch the zip tie down and just go ahead and tighten up that zip tie. And then I got my little dice. Go ahead and snip it. Here's where my problem is. So, here's the problem. This is where we need to hook up to. And this hose is about the same size as that. So we definitely have a predicament. So we're going to continue routing this hose. Here we are, push controller, and here's the hose that we just routed. It's kind of pinched right here, so we don't want to do that. I'll probably put a zip tie on that later or something. But the hose, this is where it's going. Hose is going to be about right here. I want to make sure I got enough play out of it, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it right there. Use my handy dandy scissors. And I have children, so everything is handy dandy. Alright, so there's that. I'm going to go ahead and this is a little piece that is that little piece that I lost. That's kind of like the piece that I need. I'm not too worried about my zip tie right now. I can put that on later. I do need to find that 90. That way I can or whatever it is, and reconnect it right here. Other thing, we're going to go ahead and run the hose for the wastegate, which is right here. Hose for the wastegate, right here. It's like a little 90. I don't know if you can see it. Maybe you can see it right there. It's right here. Do a little wiggle sheet. It's got a T. We're going to go ahead and pop the T off. This other hose is going to be the one that goes to your compressor side. Okay, so this is the old hose here. Check that out. Let's toss it out of the way. So we said wastegate goes to number 2. So we're going to take our Cobb hose. And like I said, I like to pre-ready my zip ties by just getting them on the end and tighten them just a little bit. You can do this later, but whatever. Do what you want. Whatever makes you happy. And I'm going to go ahead and hold it up here. Wastegate is number 2. I don't know if you can see it. Number 2 is right here. I'm not going to do too much twisting and turning here, but I'm also going to go underneath the bracket. Okay, so we are on number 2. I'm going to go ahead and tighten my zip tie down. And as I said, my dikes, I'm going to go ahead and snip my zip tie off. Okay, so we're going to, I'm going to run this bolt back to the top here just so I can kind of see where everything's going to be at. Okay, so here's the hose, the old hose. This is kind of going to be in a weird position here because the hose is coming in from that direction. So I think I'm going to use a little bit extra hose here. And I want to make sure I want to go around anything that's going to be extremely hot. So what I'll probably do, I don't want it to get pinched either. So what I'm going to do is pull all the way through housing. Do it in a Mustang, pretty nice Mustang. It drives like a jerk though, like most Mustang owners. Anyway, so okay, so I think we're gonna go underneath the intercooler, kind of like that. Kind of goes in between these hoses. Yeah, I think we're going to do that. So we're going to cut it off right here, right at the C in Cobb. Make sure you get straight cuts when you're cutting that stuff off. Wastegate. I'm going to do as I did before. I'm going to go ahead and pre-ready my zip tie. Okay, zip tie is on and officially tight. So I'm gonna snip it, and I'll give you guys a view of this in a minute. Snip it. That's why I got these little tiny dikes. I told you, take it into the small areas. I have no idea where that flew to. I think it was outside the car, so that's great. All right, so just an overview here. That is the hose we just ran. That's kind of how I did it. I'm gonna do the other one, which is right here. All right, so I messed up and didn't hit record. Everything's plugged back in. Man, that sucks I didn't hit record. Wow. Everything's tightened back down. Our Our hoses are all ran. I just got to get the piece that I lost that goes right here. I talked about make sure that you get that ground wire back on. All your zip ties back on. The extension was pretty handy for getting these bolts afterwards because a bunch of these wires and stuff are in the way. Other than that, I mean, we are installed, we're ready to go. The thing is I'm going to show you guys the sticker bond hood scoop that we poly coated. May even actually install it. So anyway, hope this was helpful, and we'll catch you on the next one. Oh, the next one, we may be installing a cutout for the car, but we're not going to talk about it because that might make people mad. Stay fresh.